Fabio Capello versus Niko Kovac. Which manager is actually better in a football? Although their playstyles are very similar, one manager stands out. This isn't even about who looks better on paper. This is about how the game actually feels when you're playing it. Let's start with what everyone sees first, the stats screen. You look at Niko Kovac and immediately your eyes go to the green numbers. Long ball counter is high, out wide is high. The structure looks solid. He feels like a safe manager, the kind of manager you pick when you don't want chaos, when you want the team to behave, when you want everyone to stay in their lane. Then you look at Fabio Capello, and at first glance, people panic. Possession game is low. Quick counter isn't crazy, but then you see the important parts light up green. Long ball counter, long ball, over-the-top pass rating. Suddenly the picture changes. Now let's talk about what link-up play actually means without any complicated football language. Link-up play is what happens after you pass the ball. That's it. Not before, not the pass itself. After. Does the player stand still? Does he run away? Does someone else move to help? Does the team react like one unit or like strangers? That's link-up play. Let's start with Niko Kovac. You see his play style leaning heavily toward long ball counter and out wide. This tells the game something very simple. Stretch the pitch, keep shape, play forward, and the game listens. With Kovac, players behave like well-trained soldiers. They hold their positions. The winger stays wide, the striker stays central, the midfielders form a straight line. Everything is neat. When you pass the ball, the next pass option is usually obvious. It's either sideways or forward. That's not a bad thing. In fact, for new players, this feels comfortable. You always know where your players are. It's predictable in a good way. But here's the problem, and this is where the image explains it perfectly. The link-up play stops at the pass. Once the ball leaves player A's foot, player A mentally clocks out. He doesn't move to support. He doesn't adjust his run. He just waits for the next instruction. So when you lose momentum, the attack dies. With Kovac, the players are like toys that only move when you press the button. When you stop pressing, they freeze. Now compare that to Fabio Capello. With Capello, when one player moves, the others react automatically. You don't have to beg the striker to check back. You don't have to force the winger to make a run. The game anticipates football logic. You pass from your center back to your defensive midfielder, then the center midfielder already steps into space. You turn with your AMF, the striker drifts just enough to pull a defender. You look wide. The opposite winger tucks in slightly. This is link-up play that thinks for you. And that's why people say Capello feels smooth. Not because he's faster, not because he's stronger, but because he reduces decision stress. Now here's the part where people get confused. They say, but Kovac and Capello look similar. They're right. Both managers value structure. Both managers don't allow random positioning. Both managers hate chaos. But the difference is intention. Kovac keeps shape no matter what. Capello keeps shape until movement creates danger. That one difference changes everything. Let's talk about passing, because this is where link-up play becomes obvious. Under Kovac, passes feel mechanical. You pass because it's the correct option. The ball moves, but the team doesn't flow. If the opponent blocks one lane, you feel stuck. You're forced wide, forced long, forced predictable. Under Capello, passes feel conversational. You pass and someone answers, someone checks, someone overlaps, someone fills the space you just left. It feels like the players are talking to each other. Again, simple explanation. Kovac's team waits for instructions. Capello's team understands the plan. Now let's bring in the price, because this matters more than people admit. Capello was cheaper, that's fact. And this is where the debate officially ends. Because if two managers offer similar structure, but one offers better link-up play and costs less, there is no argument left. You're not paying extra for intelligence with Kovac, you're paying extra for safety. Capello gives you intelligence at a discount. Under Capello, players don't feel locked to their labels. A DMF doesn't feel like a statue. A CF doesn't feel glued to the box. Everyone has permission to move just enough. Under Kovac, roles are strict. That's why some players feel dead in possession. They're waiting for the ball instead of hunting space. This matters massively in bad conditions. Lag, delay, poor internet. Under Kovac, delay kills attacks because timing is everything. Under Capello, movement starts earlier, so delay hurts less. That alone makes Capello more usable for more players. Now let's be honest, Kovac isn't bad. If you love wide play, if you love crossing, if you love clear patterns, he will work. But Capello works with you, not just for you. And that's the difference people feel but can't explain. Here's the simplest way to end this debate. If eFootball was played by robots, Kovac would be perfect. But it's played by humans. Humans who misclick, humans who lag, humans who panic, humans who react late. Capello forgives those mistakes. Kovac punishes them. So yes, their link-up play looks similar at first glance, but one makes the game easier. One makes the game heavier. And when the cheaper option is also the smarter one, the debate is over. Not because stats say so, not because content creators say so, but because the pitch says so every time the ball moves. If you agree, you already know. If you disagree, that's fine. Drop your opinion in the comments, because eFootball debates never truly end, but this one, it's settled for me.